business. Happy birthday, Marley Rice. What? Woo. Way to go. Second order of business. We hope nobody joined us at 5 a.m. this morning. That was a little glitch in the system. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hey, let's start the show.
Okie dokie. Sounds like a plan.
We're coming to you live from LA in the shadow of LAX.
Nope, slow it down because I didn't hit play.
So we're in the shadow of LAX.
There.
Yep, that's where we are.
Thanks.
We drop into the 7428 studio. It looks a little like that where Jimbo's in control. And Buck, well, he just kind of lays there. It's Wednesday. And we put the focus on high school to Olympic sports. You know, at Sports Stories Podcast, we're all over social media. So you got to join us at sportsstoriespodcast.com. You can email us info@sportsstoriespodcast.com. Hit me up on Twitter. There's our Instagram, and we're on Facebook. And every Thursday, we drop on YouTube with our video podcast. We, of course, are wherever you listen with our podcast each week. And there's our weekly schedule because we're going 5 days of programming every weekday. All right, there's the 7428 studio, and we're happy to have you here. Fancy introduction. I know. All right. Hopefully, our first guest has reestablished contact.
We're going to do
and he is there.
Last week.
Let's do that. Yeah.
But our guest is there.
Our guest is there? Yeah. That's good. Okay. Hey, we got a preview that'll show you what we got coming up this week. So how about we take a look?
Okay.
Sports Stories with Denny Lennon will feature a wide range of guests this week on 2 Facebook Live at 5 episodes, while SSDL podcast episode number 27, which drops on Thursday, features retired Navy Rear Admiral and sports diplomat Hal Pittman. Pittman spent more than 20 years in military communication leadership roles around the world while concurrently launching sport diplomatic missions. Rear Admiral Pittman, who today serves as a director of military and veteran engagement for Arizona Public Service, spoke with SSDL in January for the video podcast and will address the role of the military in the age of coronavirus on the Friday FBL 5 show. The Wednesday FBL 5 shows feature stories ranging from high school sports to the Olympic Games. Today's show will feature the return of Loyola High School of Los Angeles boys volleyball coach Mike Boley to discuss the CIF cancellation of spring sports and its ramification. Also, Ella Parker will be with us today. She is a top-rated softball pitcher at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. And Parker, who happens to be the niece of Los Angeles Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, will miss her debut season with Notre Dame High School this year, but she's hopeful to have some sort of softball season later this year. Author and featured sports writer for the Los Angeles Times, David Wharton, will jump on today's show to discuss the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games moving to the summer of 2021. The Associated Press award-winning writer, making his first appearance on the show, has been at the forefront of the story since the coronavirus outbreak. The Friday Facebook Live at 5 show, where we let it fly with a happy hour-style program, will feature ESPN anchor Neil Everett, and he's going to lead an impressive lineup of guests. Everett, who hosts the Los Angeles-based Sports Center, has found national popularity with his unique style. He's an ardent supporter of the military, and Everett will follow Rear Admiral Pittman on the show. Author Eric Nussbaum of Stealing Home about Los Angeles and the building of Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine will make his second appearance on the Friday show. Finally, Sports Stories will announce a new partner, My Stuff Bags Foundation, a nonprofit that provides traumatized children with new belongings and new hope. Janine Holmes, Chief Executive Officer of the foundation, will make her first visit to the Friday FBL 5.
Okay, time for our first guest, and I'm hoping he's here. That would be the 6-time section champion, 4-time state champion, coach of Los Angeles Loyola High School's boys volleyball team. That's right, from downtown LA. He's over in his home in Westchester. How about we bring in Mike Boley? Hi, Mike.
Hi, Denny.
Wow.
A little I'm looking at some of the comments that I'm trying. I think I missed your beginning show where I'm assuming that you showed me miss my shot. Is that what happened?
Well, yeah. If we have somebody who's been on the show and we have footage on them, we like to share the footage with our fan base.
Okay. Just your audience know that that's going to be deleted and edited, and we're going to redo that. So I'm going to come out and do that. You know that.
Before you had master control over it, we had to at least get it into
Thank you. I was rushed, guys. I was rushed. That's what happened. I was rushed on that shot.
It's all right, but you made it by game time, and here we are.
Yep, absolutely.
Things keep changing, MB, as coach of a high school volleyball team out here in Southern California, just like I'm sure in lots of parts of the country. Officially sports were canceled for the spring season. Yeah,
it was, we kept our fingers crossed. I just talked to my guys today via Zoom and, gave them the news, which they already knew. And, what do you say to a group of kids that are really looking forward to a season? And it's not just my sport, it's the spring sports in general. So it's tough. And some of them kind of comprehend it, but there's things that are bigger than this, that we're dealing with, a global pandemic. And so that's important. We can't lose sight of that we've got something pretty scary going on right now. And, trying to make that message clear to them, they get it, but there's that side of them where they're still, maybe not as mature and they want to get out there and play and show them what they do. And so that's the hard part, is trying to balance both of those.
No doubt. They, along with you and I mean, we were talking recently about how, we're close enough in age, and we've never been drafted for a war. We didn't go through the Depression, and this is the burden that, we have to carry and make sure that the next and following generations are going to get the same kind of country we grew up in.
Yeah, I think they're going to, this is going to be a life lesson for sure. I mean, for some of them too, especially some of the seniors that aren't going on to play at the next level. That's what's hard, and this is going to be their year to show something and hopefully leave their mark at Loyola High School with another possible CIF championship. But, I'm trying to keep their spirits up. We've got a couple of projects that we're working on via Zoom, and hopefully that'll be coming out in the next week or two via Instagram. But they're all in good spirits. They've got great ideas. Hopefully, these ideas will come to fruition once this curve starts to slow down. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, we have, in effect, a national audience that picks this up. And boys volleyball in Southern California is huge. It's got to be, the most competitive in the country. And so it's really important as far as, the high level of play and college recruiting and all of that. What were some of the conversations that you and the team had today?
Basically, just to make sure they understand the importance of why they are canceling, the spring sports. Why are they doing this? It's not just us. It's at the professional level too. So they get that. But again, we're not like any other volleyball program. Like you mentioned earlier, Denny, we're one of the top programs in the country. We have been for a long time. Loyola's had a history of being really good volleyball, have a really good volleyball program. And so to be at a competitive level and play at a really high level, they're not going to get that chance. So it's trying to get them to understand that, I know that this is tough for you guys to process right now, but you guys are going to look back at this and know that you had a great support group. Our coaches in Brian Rofer and Parker Bowley are available for you guys for any questions you may have. But you're going to look back at this and say, wow, what an interesting thing that we had our senior year across the board from the world. It was just I still can't comprehend it all because it's a bummer, and it's hitting home. And on Friday when we got the email from CIF, it really hit. And we were supposed to play Maricosta that night, so it was it's like Christmas morning for me, knowing that we play that match, and it was a tough Christmas.
So what did they do? Like I was looking on Max Preps. I don't know if that was accurate today. It said you guys are 5-2. I suppose that included some tournament you might have been in or some other match. But does that stay as an official record for this year, or does everything get blanked out? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about that, Denny. There's been some talk about doing an all CIF team. And I brought that up with my guys today, and I don't think that any of the teams, any of the high school teams are worthy of a CIF team. Like you played 10 games, if that, and that doesn't constitute enough to award some of these players that, maybe didn't peak at their time. And, so I don't know. I don't know if those are, I don't know what they're going to do. I certainly, we were certainly cut short. I mean, a quarter of our season, was played. That's it. So I don't know what they're going to do, what they're going to count. We certainly had a nice little winning streak going, and had a couple of losses that we want to get back. But so I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with the CIF with the record books.
So what happens now? Again, we have a wide-ranging audience, but a lot of sports obviously have their club component, and so that's something that some of your guys, as well as other guys at schools, are wondering is that's going to come off? Like, are we going to have club sports, which in effect a lot of them start strong right after the school dismisses or would dismiss? And so was that any part of the conversation?
Yep. So they have the best of both worlds. So most of my guys play at a pretty high level club program, and then they come to Loyola High where they get a pretty high level of volleyball. So my only saving grace right now to use is two things. A, if this curve starts to drop and we're able to get back at the end of May, even June, and schedule a couple of fun matches with some teams that want to just play a game of volleyball, that's
okay.
Good. But my real hope is that come June, these guys have a chance to play club volleyball. USA Volleyball, to their credit, if you will, and again, it's not a good or a bad thing, have not canceled the junior nationals set for the end of June and July. I think they're week by week, 2 week by 2 week basis, which I understand, and I actually pretty optimistic about it. But again, it's got to be a really, really big curve that just takes a dive for us to get back in the gym. But we're holding on, and that's the only hope that we can have right now for them to at least get a shot to get back on the volleyball court and do what they need to do.
There was one of our viewers wrote in. His name's Ramon Castro. He asked, how is this going to affect, or does it affect any of your seniors as they go to college if they're, like a top prospect, not having this kind of showcase high school season?
Well, so much of the recruiting for these guys now happens so early, their sophomore and junior year with the new rule change. So I don't think it hurts them too much. The one thing that we talk about is the fact that the NCAA has allowed these spring sport athletes to redo their year. So the seniors that were going to be graduating get another year if they want it. The juniors, sophomores, so there's an effect that could come down into these kids that were signing NLIs back in November that are now going to have an effect on them, because now your roster becomes bigger. And again, it depends on the program. It depends on how many guys are coming back. But the fact that the NCAA allowed them to repeat their year, could have some effect on some of these guys that are coming in. Do you have to redshirt? Maybe sitting behind a guy for a year is now 2 years. So there's a lot of that. The three that have signed, I have Henry Wedbush at Princeton, Luke Turner and Aiden Peters at Stanford, which are three great schools. They don't seem to be too flustered by it. They've been in contact with their coaching staff, which is really good to hear. And so I don't think there's a real big effect on those guys. Now, the underclassmen, I think the USA Volleyball and the college coaches, if JOs were to get canceled, I think they're just going to have to figure out a way to maybe come out to a high school match or come see them. Maybe they're going to do the recruiting at the holiday classics. They might do it earlier than the JOs. So, it just all depends. Everything is so up in the air right now. I wish I had answers.
There's always that, junior college way to go. I spent a good 10 years there getting that AA degree, Mike. And, that's one way.
You have to read the whole thing here.
Mike, I'm really impressed. There's so many people that are scrolling through my scroll right now. So many families that are thanking you for what you've done, and telling people that are here that are coming online just to show their support. And there's certain kind of like love and family that happens at Loyola High School. I was fortunate to have my boy go through there, and like something like Tim Lynch is just like says, I know there's way bigger problems, but thank you for all your support and fighting to the end, and that's got to make you feel good. Yeah,
at least I've always tried to my players are always an extension of my own family, and that's how I look at it. And I think, that's all I can do right now is be their mentor, be there for them. but they're an extension of my own family, and I treat them as if they are some of my sons. And I have to change that every single year because I've got a new crop of kids that are coming through. But I love doing what I'm doing. I have a passion for it. I love the players. My heart goes out to all these 19 young men that have really worked hard since last November to get ready for this season. So, it's really tough. And none of us have ever been here before. We've had some tough defeats. We've had some great wins. But to have something like this with the unknowns that are, forthcoming, you don't have words for them. And all you can say is, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And let's look down the road to this. But we're doing some pretty interesting things though as a group. It's going to be pretty cool. I've
been noticing, without the lack of pro sports that we would normally watch, there's been a lot of polls that come up. There's been a lot of I like what Houston Mitchell's got going on Twitter. It's like iconic sport tournament or icons of the sport. So in that spirit, looks like Shane Stroke wrote in and said, best 2 outsides you've had in the past 10 years. And first I want to know, was Shane Stroke one of your outsides?
Shane Strokey was and has been my manager for 2 years. He is a volleyball nut, actually. So he's all over the place. He's actually a football player who's going to Wake Forest to play next year.
Okay.
I've known Shane for a long time, but he's my manager for the last 2 years. He's probably trying to stir it up a little bit, but that's tough to say. There's a guy who comments Steve Irvin would be right up there as one of the top outsides, for sure. And what he did, and what he accomplished at Loyola High School, the last 2 years or 10 years. There's so many, Denny. It's so hard to put my finger on. Your son Vaughn was great for us and had some great memories. Luke Turner is another one who I'd rank up there. And again, it's not just based on what you did, how many kills you got. It's that culture. It's that character that you had. It's the respect that you had, and it's the overall look that I enjoy doing or enjoy seeing from these young men. So there's a lot that goes into picking the best. And
of course, I just wanted to be able to put you on the spot, but I also want the compliments are coming in. Like Mike Oxlong, he went to some matches this year. He said Coach Bowley's team is one of the best talented, best coached teams in the CIF. So that's nice from Mike. The Aldridge family says they're in. They're waiting on Isla Parker. Oh, sorry, that one wasn't for you, Mike. Okay, but okay. No, Mike, it's it's really a bummer that you missed this. But I did notice something in the paper today that I want to talk about a little bit, and it had to do with the Big West volleyball honors. So a lot of the collegiate season, or some of it anyways, was played, and it looked like UC Santa Barbara was coming on strong before the season got canceled. But UC Santa Barbara player Casey McGarry was named first team All-Western Conference. And I mean, that's got to be, it's got to make you proud. And I bet that's not the first nor the last that you'll have.
Yeah, no, it's always exciting to see guys that played for me get those kind of accolades. Casey's certainly a kid. He was CIF Player of the Year in 2016. We won a CIF championship with him and my son Davis doing the setting. But Casey's a gamer, and is he's the undersized setter that never could, and he's proven to everybody that he could. So I'm really proud of Casey and what he's done at UC Santa Barbara for 4 years, for sure.
Yeah, they finished out. I think they're 14-2 when they shut it down, and they were on a run. And UC Santa Barbara's got a unique history in volleyball. I mean, they've always had great success, and they share a unique one with you, with all three of your boys.
Yeah,
going through that school and playing there.
Yeah, no, it's they've been very good to my family. I do have a soft spot for them and what they do. Rick McLaughlin, the head coach, former Cub. So there's that relationship that we've had. He was also the head coach at Loyola Marymount for many years. So Rick does a fantastic job with his assistant coaches, Jonah and Blaine. And, my boys had a great time there, and I'll never be able to thank them. I'll never be able to stop thanking them for what they did for my boys and move them on to their careers.
Mike, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit here. Your personality that we like, of course, having on the show. But one thing I want to talk about before we bring in our next guest is on Tuesday nights, we're going to launch something, and that's going to be a VBC show. And that's going to focus on the Venice Backyard Championships. And you'll be one of the hosts of that show with me. And we'll be bringing in some of the stars of the Venice Backyard Championships. which was a kind of a legendary, that mixed pros and amateurs in the backyards of Venice volleyball tournament, 1983 to 1996.
I'm so excited to do that, Denny. It's we had so much fun doing that so many years ago, and the time and effort and to think that we had Prime Sports at the time,
Right.
live telecast of our program, and I think we outdrew the Laker game at the time. There was something that we did that was
It was wild.
that was fun, and I can't wait to relive some of those memories and talk about some of the players and some of the things that happened, both inside the courts and outside the courts. So I'm excited. My kids are excited because all they hear about, and we've watched film 1987, 1988, they're going to be able to really get a chance to see what this tournament was all about, because it's one of a kind. There's no doubt about it. One of a kind.
It is going to.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that'll premiere Tuesday night. So we know we'll get you back there. But why don't you stick around right now while we bring in the star of our show. She's one of the top-rated softball players in all the country, and she's only in 9th grade, Mike. She's killing it as a southpaw pitcher and a power-hitting lefty. She's going to school at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Welcome to the show, Ella Parker. Hi, Ella.
Hi.
How's it
Hey,
going?
Ella.
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Good. Meet Coach Bowley from Loyola.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Ella. Ella, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Is your cousin playing baseball at Loyola Marymount University?
Yes, he is.
So my daughter Ella plays volleyball there and has gotten to know your cousin.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's been really cool. So there's a little bit of a connection here. And, so stoked to see your career, and so glad to hear about you and all your accolades. So best of luck to you for the rest of your future, for sure.
Hey, Ella, did you see the beginning of the show where Mike took his basketball shot?
Yes, I did.
So, I mean, it's a skill dominant. Your sport takes great skill, and playing basketball takes great skill. And I was wondering, maybe Coach Bowley, could you talk a little bit about your basketball technique? Yes. Ella, here's what you want in life. You want to get to the point where you could have a Facebook Live show, and then you bring your cousin that you've known your whole life, and you set them up, and you go later, like that. Fun, huh?
Yeah.
Good times, Ella. Thanks for being part of that. How's it going?
I'm good.
Yeah, how's things in your home?
We're good. We're doing whatever. We're getting along really well, surprisingly.
That's good. Good. Why don't you shout out your family? Run us down. Who's hanging out at home?
My mom, Melissa, dad, Keith, older sister, Mia, younger sister, Ava, and then younger brother, Keith.
Wow. So is it hard to keep food around the house?
Oh, well, we've made a couple of grocery runs. I think we're good.
Nice. I'm sure. So your season obviously cut short. I think I said on the open that your whole season, but that's not true. You guys were 12-1, if I'm not mistaken, when the season came to an end at Notre Dame, right?
Yes. It just sucks that we had to end so soon. We had a lot of good players. Our seniors held us together. We had a lot of potential, and it just sucks that our season came to an end so quickly. But everything happens for a reason, and our health matters. So it's unfortunate, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, you will. And for yours, it's a bummer that you miss out on your first season, but it's got to be really tough for some of the seniors.
Yes, really, yeah.
Right? But like you said, we got to be healthy. So at Notre Dame, you guys are the Knights, right?
Yes.
Did they ever call you the Lady Knights?
I think they called the basketball team the Lady Knights.
Did
They called the basketball team. I don't know.
they play Cool in the Gang? Oh yes, it's Ladies' Night. They should play that song. That would be awesome if they ran out to that. I'd follow that team. All right. A lefty pitcher and a lefty power hitter. Tell me a little bit about does that give you? Do you feel like you got an advantage? Because left-handers have advantage in a lot of sports when they're good players.
I mean, for me as a pitcher, you get a lot more. I'd say I have a lot more spin. That's like not. Nah. I have a little more spin, and then when I'm hitting, I get a little head start because I'm in the other side of the box.
Yeah.
A little head start to first base. So, I mean, it's cool being a lefty. I like it because we're unique. I'm the only natural lefty on my team.
Oh, that helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why they call? Do you know why they call you a southpaw?
Boxing, I know that. I know.
Actually, it was baseball too, where the field would always orient itself towards the east, so the sun wouldn't be in the batter's eyes, and then that way your pitching arm was on the south side. So go figure. But they don't always build fields like that anymore. But I just wanted to say southpaw because it sounds like I know sports and stuff. That's good.
Ella's breaking the record for the number
So-
of messages coming on the screen.
Ella, did you? I don't know if you heard my wife. She's producing the show. She says for the number of messages coming on the screen, you probably broke the record. Good, way to go.
Yeah.
So you were 6-1, Ella, when it cut down, right?
Yes.
Yep, 6-1, and let's talk about that one. I'm just kidding. That's so mean, huh? Okay, but that sounded like I looked at your Max Prep thing, and it looked like that was just the first tournament game or something.
First tournament game, yes.
Yeah, and then you guys got rolling.
Yes, yeah. We're getting used to, and then we got comfortable, and then we just started playing our game.
You a little over 1 point ERA, pretty solid. Yeah, you didn't know that? Okay, see, look at me doing research. All right, but what about, do you like swinging the bat a little bit more or pitching a little bit more? Which do you like?
I like both of them a lot, but I'd have to say pitching.
Okay, well, you're swinging the bat pretty good because you're hitting 605, and that's not shabby because it was like 43 at bats. That's pretty good. That's really good. Reading the team, but again, let's focus on the other 39% that you didn't get a hit.
Don't answer that.
Ella, come on. Most of the time, my wife sits here and goes, "Don't do that." But you also had 3 home runs.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Did you know that?
I've kind of forgot, to be
All
honest.
right. Well, you're this power hitter, and I was wondering, you're also considered very strongly within your own class nationwide, and you as a power hitter and a pitcher. So I was wondering, do you have like a home run trot at all? Do you run around the bases any different when you hit a home run?
No, I don't.
No. Do you hustle it up, or do you kind of jog like whatever? Yeah.
It's expected. You expect those things. That's what I learned from my coach. He said, don't treat that like it's any different. It's expected of you to do that, and just get in there and keep doing what you do.
Nice. So are you still with the Orange County Batbusters?
Yes.
Yeah. And how's the plan on that club team? Do you have fun there?
So much fun.
And are you hoping you get a season?
I'm not sure about what's going to happen with the rest of the season, but we are currently waiting this situation out. But I love that team so much. Great coaches, teammates. I've learned a lot. They've taught me to compete.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. Tell people, because not everybody understands how important club sports are to high school sports. That is part of our audience, right? Because we got like a wide range of people. So tell the people about being on a club team and kind of what's the difference between that and school sports.
Club team, I'd say it's a lot more competitive. Being in California, you play against really, really good teams. At the end of the season, we have a big national tournament where the best of the best teams come together and they play against each other. And that's where the main competition is. And it's just really important to play travel ball because you get to travel around, play against different people you wouldn't necessarily play against in high school, because
Right.
against kids from different states. High school, it's not as competitive, but it can be, I guess. So yeah, it's just, I'd say it's a lot more.
We have one of our fans, his name's Ramon, and he asked, who's your inspiration or your mentor?
I'd say my my sister and just the rest of my family, my uncle. My sister, she's the one that I looked up to. She taught me how to pitch, how to play softball. My uncle, we actually got I'm guessing we got the idea to play softball from him because none of my parents neither of my parents played softball.
So your sister played at George Washington, still playing,
Yeah, she's still playing.
right? And then your two youngers, they're good athletes too.
Yes, they are.
So your mom must have been a really good athlete then.
Yeah.
Going up. I know. See, I had to get that one in on your pops. I like that. No, really. Your dad, I watched him play basketball over at the YMCA, and he kills it against all those 60-year-old guys. He's for sure the best in the 60-year-old group. Oh, man. This is fun, Ellis. See, I get to make fun of your dad. So you mentioned your uncle. And for those that don't know, your uncle is the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Dave Roberts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you? I'm sure everybody knows him as the manager of the Dodgers, but he was a professional baseball player for 10 years.
Yes.
Do you know the story about his big stolen base?
Yes, I do. My
So
mom told me when I watched that 30 for 30 many times. Many times.
Does he like every Thanksgiving? He goes, "Okay, sit down, kids. Let me tell you, 2004." Does he?
No.
No, but it's interesting how sports work. When you get that like inspirational play or something like that, and that was it. They were done. They were down 0-3, and they had the whole curse thing on top of them, and it was just that one. Just because he did it off of such a great pitcher catcher combo, that he got that stolen base, and it kind of lit everybody up, and then he scored, right?
Yes.
Yep. So I was wondering, I noticed you got 3 home runs this year, right?
Yes.
Now, your Uncle Dave, he played 10 years in the big leagues, and he had 26 total home runs. And I was wondering if you think you could get more than 26 home runs by the time you graduate high school.
I'll try.
We're gonna keep a counter. We'll keep a counter on our Facebook page. Ella, that would be fun.
Okay.
That would be fun. All right, Ella, what's the big plans for staying in shape? What do you do to keep yourself up?
I've been taking advantage of FaceTime and Zoom, and I've been FaceTiming my trainer, Jelani, and he's been giving me workouts every day. And then I've also been FaceTiming my batting coach and pitching coach, and they've been giving me lessons over FaceTime.
How's that work? Like, just explain a little bit.
For my workouts, I usually just go in the garage and we have stuff there to work out, and I FaceTime him and I set like a camera up so he can see what I'm doing and he can show me different workouts to do.
Oh, wow. So you got those workouts now. Do you get to swing the bat at all just to try to stay sharp? Do you pitch at all?
Yeah, I have a bow net and a tee outside and then a mound and a sister that can catch me. So
Hey, right? Don't let your dad.
no.
Your dad can catch. I've watched him. He's instructed a lot of young players, and it's kind of fun to watch all of you guys come up. So I got some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
Are you prepared?
Yes, I am.
Good. Hey, by the way, I like the sweatshirt today. That's good branding. Do you see how I supported Uncle Dave? Yeah.
You did. I like it.
All right. So one of the first things I always got to ask anybody that's your age is, what's your favorite shoe? Like, what's your go-to shoe when you're, going to the school, you want to look good? What's your kit?
My Jordan ones.
Which ones?
Jordans.
Nice. Okay. All right. Yeah. Do you have a pet?
I have 2 dogs,
Names?
Bonsai and Yoshi.
Nice. All right. What's your favorite sports team that you're not on?
Dodgers.
Dodgers? Good. Yeah. That's right there with me. Do you have a nickname?
Parker, EP.
Yeah. Okay, that's it? No more fun ones? Because last week I interviewed Juju Watkins, but her name's Judea and Juju, and that's all. She's like, nope, no nicknames. Juju's it. Yeah. All right. Do you have a favorite video game?
Oh, I don't play video games.
Good girl. Favorite? You know what? I shouldn't say that, because how am I going to interview those gamers? All right. Favorite board game?
Clue.
Clue. Okay. Favorite main dish?
Steak and mashed potatoes.
Oh, sick. Favorite dessert?
Birthday cake, any cake,
Oh,
Any cake.
just like any kind of cake?
any kind of cake,
Carrot cake.
probably.
All right, me too. I love carrot cake. Somebody answered that last week or a couple weeks ago. Do you have a favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
Sick. All right. And if you had a league of their own versus Forrest Gump and it was in the championship, who would you choose? Oh, I just threw a league of their own in there because I just did.
I actually don't.
All right. Favorite musical group?
I don't listen to a whole bunch of musical groups, but
Or favorite like DJ or favorite artist?
Chance the Rapper,
Okay. Favorite author or book?
Ta-Nehisi Coates,
Favorite professional athlete that's like still playing right now that you kind of go, okay.
Corey Seager.
Oh, yeah, it is good. Do you have a favorite quote?
I know this is kind of a cliche, but Babe Ruth's "Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game."
That's good. I like that one. That's a really good one. Okay, what's your go-to TikTok dance move?
The whoa.
Show. I gotta see it.
That.
Oh, all right, fair enough. If I knew how to work TikTok, I would get you going. But I don't.
Still kidding.
Okay. Did you have fun doing the interview?
Yes, I did.
Thank you for bringing such a crowd. That was awesome.
Definitely broke.
Okay, stick around because
Thank
I
you
want-
for having me.
I won't swipe you off because I don't do that to anybody that's under 18. That's just not nice. I just made that rule up. But I'm going to bring in a writer from the Los Angeles Times. Okay, and I want you to stick around for a second because we're going to talk about the softballs in the Olympic Games. So do you have a second? Okay. Hi, David. David Wharton's a feature sports writer for the LA Times. His work won the Associated Press Sports Editor Award for Enterprise Reporting, and he's been selected for the prestigious Best American Sports Writing Award. And David, I say all of that because you're the most impressive writer we've had on the show, and I just wanted to say that because I know Eric Sondheimer.
Oh no.
Hey, we need this.
Tell him out loud.
Hey, so we need your mic on. We lost your mic somehow.
Check the little gear thing.
It's the gear thing right there. Ella, buy some time for us. more TikTok dancing.
Oh, I don't know.
You're back.
Oh,
Now we lost you. Almost got you. If I was Vince Scully, I'd be able to read lips. Darn it.
we can come back to him,
Hey.
but he needs to be on Chrome, and we can kind of.
David, we'll come right back to you. We'll get you fixed.
And
He's in there if you want to call him.
okay, good.
Ella, we get to burn some more time here. Are you okay? Do you have homework to get to or something?
Pardon?
You have to do any homework right now that you have to leave?
I'm on spring break right now.
Are you? What's your academic schedule like? How do you like being at Notre Dame and the teachers and so forth?
I
Tell
really
me.
like the school. I know a lot of people there, and it was just a great fit for me. I really like the teachers a lot. They helped me a lot, especially leaving early for games. I'd have to figure out a way to make up a bunch of work, but they'd just always be there for me and help me no matter what.
Yeah. I was an athletic director at a school for a number of years, and that's one of the things athletes have to do is they have to make a choice that there's going to be tough times when you leave early and you're not in the class and you have to get your work, do your work, and then it's a different kind of way of having to get it done. But that's the key, right? You get it done and you do the best you can on it, and it kind of teaches you something, I think.
They're just very helpful, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. But would you have a favorite subject?
Bio or
Bio.
science.
Okay. Do you see yourself heading in that direction? I mean, I know you're in 9th grade, and
I like science because I want to become something in the sports medicine field, and science is very interesting to me.
yeah. There was somebody on our show last week that was on our video podcast. His name's Bert Mandelbaum, and if you want, he's very high level. medical advisor for the Olympic Committee and for World Cup. And so he gives a lot of really good advice there about people heading in that direction. I got a question coming in from somebody named Marley who wants to know, do you play any other sports?
I played water polo this year, and then I ran track in middle school.
Awesome. I bet water polo, being a lefty, is that an advantage kind of too?
It is, yeah, I'd say, and also having a throw and also throwing on.
What position do you play when you're not pitching?
I outfield
Outfield?
anywhere in the outfield.
Nice. And what would you say to young girls that want to play, given that you're 14? I mean, now where you're talking to like 9, 10-year-olds. But so if they want to play and get involved, what do you think's like the best way, and what are some?
I'd say play to have fun. Always compete though, and just work towards work. Compete and strive for greatness.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that because that's fun. Like work is not a bad word. When you enjoy what you're doing and you're putting in the work, it frees your mind and it feels good.
Yes.
Yeah.
With all the time we have, the best thing you can do is just take the balls, hit, get better every single day. Just get better every day.
No doubt. No doubt. So we got them up?
We're about to
Oh,
give
look
it
at
one
this.
more try.
So you met my wife Christine yesterday. There we go. Hi, David. Let's
No,
see.
not yet.
Almost. Wonder what we're doing different from. We're doing something different from yesterday. Let's see.
Unplug the headphones. I know it worked perfectly yesterday.
Yeah, we were good yesterday, Ella.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to ask him? You want to still try one more time with him?
Okay. Well,
What I was going to ask him was, did you know that in the Olympic Games, Ella, that softball and baseball, they're kind of, I think, married together, and they were out of the games for a while, but they were coming back to Tokyo, which would have been this summer, obviously going back, but that's got to be a little bit exciting being a top level player. So, like, is that maybe something you think about?
I mean, it's been. I've kept it in my mind. I've had it in my mind a couple of times. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a thought.
It's a long.
It's a long ways away though.
Well, the 20. These would be the 20 games. We'll call them the 20 games. But then it would be 24 as Paris, but 28 Los Angeles. That lines up about right. Do you know who she is that plays for UCLA? Go that way with the Nichols.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was talking just about that. And have you ever gone and watched UCLA play?
Yes.
National champs last year,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Who do you like on that team? Is there anybody on that team that kind of caught your eye?
Rachel Garcia.
Yeah.
Amazing pitcher. She can hit the bat. She can hit the bat. Sorry. She can hit the ball.
Yep.
She's an amazing player.
Yeah, I think she's the other one. Those two are I think on the Olympic team. Nick Nichols and Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's got to be a tough decision when you move it back a year, and you're graduating college and stuff. That's probably complicated.
Yes, it is.
Ella, you've been great.
Thank you
I appreciate you being here.
Okay, we're trying again.
for having me.
Okay, well, so we're going to let you go because I can't just, keep occupy your whole day. And make sure you say hi to your pops for me. Tell them I'm messing. We got you now, David?
Oh,
almost.
I just swiped her off on accident. That's my bad.
Ella, that was on accident. Christine did.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Kind of funny way. I would have blamed it on her. Sorry, David. I wish we could pick up your audio.
Yeah. Is the mic muted? Does it have a line to the mic? No.
We'll go back. Good times.
That's not good. Oh, we're so sorry.
Thanks, Ella. We'll say goodbye officially this time. I never like go, oh, thank you for being on our show. I usually just go later. Bye.
Okay, I don't
All right.
know what to do with this. I'm really very sad.
David, I like your background though. It's good
Sign
background.
language.
Yes, I wish I knew sign language or I was Vince Scully. But maybe David can. We'll have to sign off today. But how about if we try this again next week to go through the Olympics? Yeah. If you're in trouble, give me a signal. But otherwise, we're good. All right. Thank you, David. All right. So we do have some more programming.
Yeah,
And,
there's a couple of
I'm sorry that we
comments,
missed out on-
too, that you were just talking about. Sorry, because
So Rachel Garcia was an AAU Sullivan Award finalist. That's right. AAU Sullivan Awards, which I'm fortunate enough to be on that committee. And Roger Gowdy coming in, that's the president of the Amateur Athletic Union and CEO. And Rachel Garcia was a finalist for that award. And we'll get some more action on that award as we come down the stretch here. I'm sorry we're missing out on David Wharton. He's a great writer. And if you've seen any of his stuff in the LA Times, he's been all over the Olympics, both, deciding to go forward and then backtracking from that once they saw how things started to play out in Africa and different parts of the world. And then they decided to put those postponed, and then they moved it a full year back. It was not an easy decision for them to make. There's so much about moving it a year later that it will step on top of federations' championships. And also, Japan and Tokyo, as the LOC, the local organizing committee, had put an awful lot of money, billions of dollars, into hosting at that particular time. So it's really too bad that had to be moved back, but we're going to get those Olympic Games
third
on.
time might be a charm.
Okay.
In
We're going to
3,
try one more
2,
time
1.
with David. It's not.
Darn it.
It's not. Thanks.
Not
Anyways,
the try.
I wish it was working, David.
We're going to have him
Okay.
back next
That's
Wednesday.
he already agreed to come back.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So that's it. We'll talk Olympics next week. They're not going anywhere except to 2021. Here's another thing I want to say. We're asking any elementary school athletes, okay, up to 8th grade, if you're doing workouts and you want everybody to see the way you're staying in shape, your way on this show is to submit a video. And we got one. And if I'm not mistaken, we're almost ready to play it. And let's see, it comes from Sophia and Julia Galvan. So let's see what Sophia and Julia Galvan are doing to stay in shape. Oh, solid. Oh, so good.
I don't think I love this sidewalk.
Oh, all right, Sophia and Julia. That was solid. Ages, 12 and 9? Wow. I bet their mom was a great athlete as well.
Skills and drills and kick it out.
Okay, so we got the skills and drills. That's a skills and drill session. So again, any elementary school. Hey, do you have an idea who we should interview on this show? We got a long list of top athletes, and they're not just in Los Angeles. They're all across the country. If you got an idea who we should, and this could go anywhere from high school to the Olympic level of play, hit us up, info@sportsstoriespodcast.com. I say it's time to sign off. We'll see you next Wednesday. Remember, tomorrow our podcast drops with Hal Pittman.
Kick it out,
and
Book.
Friday.
Kick it out, Book.
Yeah, kick it out. Kick it out.
Kick it out.
It's Friday. That's my dog Buck kicking it out. Celebration. Later, everybody.
Celebration Friday.